Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com, helping you create something awesome today. So in today's video for growing your YouTube channel, we're going to talk all about audio quality, and we're going to talk about some of the audio gear that you need for YouTube. So the most obvious thing is a microphone. If you're shooting on a camera that has a microphone input jack, an audio input jack, I highly recommend using a lapel mic. I'm using a Sony lapel mic that's been working out great for me, but there are cheaper things. If you're on an extreme budget, because this was only $30, if you're on an extreme budget, you can get a 3-pack or a 5-pack of newer microphones, which is NEEWER. Links will be in the description below, and that might cost you like $5 or $10. I was using those for a long time before I got this Sony, and they worked out fine. The clip on them would keep coming off and getting lost, so I ordered a bunch of them, but for the price, they were super affordable, and I didn't have to do too much in post as far as processing my audio. Speaking of processing your audio, I highly recommend doing that. I highly recommend using noise reduction filters in either something like Adobe Audition or even a free program called Audacity. I should probably do some tutorials about noise reduction and processing audio. I'll probably do that at some point, but doing that is super important for just cleaning up the quality of your videos, getting rid of background noise from the air conditioning or the room, whatever. So, lapel and lavalier mics that you can clip onto your clothing and that, if you're me, you hide them in the video, are really good, and they're super affordable. There are some more expensive routes you can go with that, though. You could get a wireless solution, and that's something I'm looking at doing here in the near future. You could go budget, and you could go with a brand that I like, Audio-Technica. I use them for my condenser mic back here that I use to do my tutorial videos, but they also make a lot of other products. They make shotgun microphones that you can mount on top of your camera or on a boom, so I highly recommend them for that. But they also make a wireless solution that's under $150, so I highly recommend you check them out for that. The best wireless microphones, though, are going to come from your higher end brands. They're going to come from Sony, Sennheiser, and now Rode has a wireless microphone solution as well. So at the high end, I would say that those are the best wireless lavalier lapel mic situations that you could get into, but they're more expensive. That's going into, with Rode is the cheapest one at $399, I believe, and then Sony I think has a $599, and Sennheiser is $699, $700. With Rode coming down, and with how popular they are for both podcasting microphones, shotgun microphones like the Rode VideoMic Go and the Rode VideoMic Pro, I would say that they're going to win a lot of people over to them on the wireless side. So that might be something you want to look into. I'm going to see if they will lend me one for a review, because I think that'd be great if I could do that for you. I'm going to talk to Sennheiser and Sony as well and see if I can get them to lend me some of the wireless situations to review. Maybe Audio-Technica would be interested in giving one to the channel, so we'll see. But those are the recommendations, and they are in the description below as far as your wireless microphone solutions. As far as shotgun mics are something you're going to want to use when you're out and about, and sometimes when you have action stuff that you're doing, and you might even want to do it if you are in studio and you have multiple people, or if you're doing a documentary style video, you might want to use a shotgun microphone. Now, you could go cheap and get one from Taxar from like $35, and they're not bad. Honestly, the quality on them isn't bad at all. Or you could go with Audio-Technica at $55, $60, $100 with a Rode VideoMic Go, or about $200 with a Rode VideoMic Pro. So those would be my recommendations there. Obviously, there are more expensive shotgun mics from all of these brands that you could get, but those are ones that I highly recommend. A lot of YouTubers have had success with them. I've had success with both Taxar and Audio-Technica, so I highly recommend those. I am looking at getting a Rode VideoMic Pro in the near future, so I would still recommend that. And Rode's a solid brand. I've used them for some other things in the past. If you're doing tutorial videos and you need to have a condenser microphone with a pop filter and an arm there, then I recommend for that that you can go with Shure, Audio-Technica, and Rode. Those are who I'd recommend. I've been using Audio-Technica. I've had friends that I've used their Shure and their Rode setups before, and those were very good. You could also go with Blue Yeti. A lot of people do. I didn't like the Blue Snowball mic personally, but my brother's using it now. But I have another friend who's had good experiences with it, so maybe mine was just different, or I didn't know how to use it properly. But I do have friends who have used the Yeti and the Yeti Pro from Blue, and those worked out really well, so I would still recommend those. Links are in the description. But on a budget, I would say that the Audio-Technica stuff is comparable to it on a budget, it's cheaper, and I would say it's just as good, and they have a tremendous warranty. So I'm going to highly recommend them. By the way, nobody's sponsoring this video, so get that out of your mind. This is just recommendations on what I think is good and what I've had experience with. So those are my recommendations for the best mics that you can get for YouTube audio. Now, in addition to mics, you may need a digital recorder. I've had good success with using the Zune H1. Obviously, there are other YouTubers who have used the H4n, and now there's an H6. So those things are great. And the reason you might want to use those is if you're feeding in multiple wireless lapel mics or multiple condenser mics, if you're doing a show of some kind, then being able to have all the inputs to be able to put into there and process it, that's just going to make life easier, and it's going to make it easier to do your clap and to sync up things. So that's why I would recommend doing that. It's also very good in the field for if you're doing boom operation with a shotgun microphone, to be able to have it to do that for field recording. So I would say use it in that way as well, and for interviews. So those would be situations where you'll need that. For the stuff with the podcasting and the tutorials, I do use an M audio box as a mixer and a preamp, so that can be helpful, and I would highly recommend you do that. There are preamps and mixers you can put on the bottom of your DSLR camera. I'm using a battery grip on the bottom of my DSLR camera, so I'm a little hesitant to add anything else to the bottom there, and I'm a little concerned about it. But if I wasn't, that is the route that I would probably go for the audio stuff. In my case, I love to run it directly into the camera just so that I don't have to do claps and syncing later. So that's how I use it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video with recommendations for the best audio equipment that you need for YouTube videos. If you still have questions about YouTube audio equipment, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer as many of your questions as I possibly can. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.